While we're on the subject of Israel, they are extending their high-tech barriers. I guess they're immoral, according to Nancy Pelosi, because they actually want to protect their people. And they're also updating it, expanding it. Another 40 miles is what I read the other day. But we wanted to play a piece that's 2.5 years old that sort of gives you a feel for how the Israelis do this and what they're doing. Go ahead.
The new fence at Israel's border with Egypt stands about 6 meters high.
So let me stop here. This one isn't with Egypt that we're talking about. It's with the Gaza Strip. But go ahead.
Far underground, and bristles with sensors and high-tech surveillance equipment aimed at stopping all would-be trespassers.
Israel, which is surrounded by what it sees as hostile neighbors, has become an expert in border security, or put more simply, building walls and fences. What you see here along the Egyptian border is part of a bigger plan by Israel to surround its entire territory with a high-tech fence.
You hear that? Its entire, I wouldn't call it territory, its entire landmass, with a high-tech fences. And where they need walls, they put walls. When they need barbed wire, they put barbed wire. Where they need steel barriers, they put steel barriers. If there's tunnels being built, they build the walls deeper. They do whatever they have to do, and this has been a major success. And it is highly moral. This is what a nation does to protect its own people. Go ahead.
Israel began working on this fence a few years ago, ostensibly for security reasons, but also to stop African migrants and refugees from entering the country illegally.
Whoa! They don't like illegal immigration either. Imagine that. No country does, to be perfectly honest with you. Go ahead.
The formidable barrier, which was completed in 2013, all but choked off the flow of people, from more than 12,000 in 2010 to just a dozen or two per year now.
Now stop right there. You see that? From 12,000 to a couple of dozen. This is the middle of the desert. This is not exactly heavily populated on that portion of Egypt. Go ahead.
Shahar Nachmani, an Israeli soldier who works at the border, tells me the fence is so high that would-be crossers need the help of another person to get over it, and typically a ladder too. Touching the fence activates an alarm. While the wall that Israel is best known for is its controversial West Bank security barrier, which was built to stop suicide bombings, the country is now building high-tech fences and walls around all of its external international borders
too. Now look at that. Look at that. Look how important that is. Go ahead.
Israel has become such an expert in border technology that it is now an export product that the country is selling to customers in North and South America, Europe, and Asia too.
Too bad they're not selling them to us, because apparently we don't want to buy them, thanks to Pelosi and her ilk. But see, there's different types of walls. You can see different types of fencing depending on the area, depending on what the threat assessment is. Go ahead.
Itself as a major high-tech power and a microcosm of a tougher world made more insecure recently by terrorism, the unchecked flow of migrants, and war. If it's right, the move to cordon itself off through imposing physical barriers and advanced electronics could provide the rest of us with a glimpse of things to come.
Well, you would think, wouldn't you? So I wanted you to see that, so you know at least in part what we're debating. We have stretches of hundreds and hundreds of miles with no physical barriers whatsoever. So what the Democrats are saying, send the little toy helicopters out there, drones they call them, and they can keep an eye on them. You can keep an eye on them, and then what? Well, then you can call in the Border Patrol. Well, what if they're 50 miles away? People seem to think we have these like guard stands every 12 feet along the... We don't have that. These are vast areas, and a lot of places where there's, you know, some ranchers and something like that, or nothing. And in many ways, this is how people are getting to our country. So the Democrats say we need to strengthen the ports of entry, because we already have these ports of entry, right? And by the way, they're not all water ports. We're talking about ports of entry. We need to strengthen these. This is the way they get around their hardcore left-wing kook base, which is saying no more walls. Okay, we already have walls here. We need to strengthen those. Look, I have no problem with strengthening those, but we have vast areas that have nothing. And those are the areas that need to be protected, but are not. That's it.